There really is no evidence of that. You've got a couple of polls that say it's close, but I don't believe that. We've had 4 terms of Republican governors here. There are 10 of 14 congressional districts here that are Republican. Every constitutional office in this state is Republican. We have 2 Republican senators. In my race, for example, they had me down 7 points 3 weeks out from the race. We won by more than 8 points. There's no evidence that this state is a battleground state.
And when you think, though, of the things that have taken place over the past couple of weeks that have really shifted the polls nationally, you don't think that's had any impact here?
Well, I wouldn't say it has no impact, but I just think that people in Georgia are focused on the debt and the economy and jobs, which is pretty much what Trump is trying to talk about.
Right. You used to be the CEO of Reebok, the Reebok athletic brand.
Right.
And so you care about brands. When you heard the comments that Donald Trump made on that hot mic with Billy Bush a couple of weeks ago, what did you think?
Well, look, this guy's no choir boy. But, you know, Winston Churchill was no choir boy either. Frankly, being an outsider in Washington, I think it's time we have somebody come to Washington to break some eggs, to break through the establishment. Real change is going to have to come from the administration, and Hillary is basically promising a 3rd term of Barack Obama. So regardless of what this guy says, I think he'll come to Washington and affect change, which is really the reason I went there.
When we were talking before we came on camera, you were talking about the polls and your own experience here with the polls. Do you think that you can extrapolate out and suggest that there's something else going on with the polls in this country?
Well, I have to tell you, I'm not sure about that, but I've traveled extensively here in the last few months. I was in Wisconsin, Iowa, and Missouri just in the last 10 days. There's something going on out there. I don't know if he'll outperform the polls in every state, but I can tell you in some places I've been, he will.
How do you feel about his comments that the election is rigged?
Well, look, what is rigged? I mean, we know we have a liberal media in many respects, and we're not talking about the primary focus that most people back home want, the priorities they're really concerned about. The media is really focused on the topic of the day, and that's really, I think, what he's talking about.
Right. I've mentioned it a couple times in the past 2 hours. Front page of USA Today this morning talks about how 51% of voters in America think there might be violence on Election Day, and that 4 out of 10 Trump supporters say that they won't recognize the vote if, in fact, Hillary Clinton were to win. What do you think of that?
Well, I'm disturbed by both of those. You know, this is our democracy. You know, we've only had 1 republic in our history. France has had 6. The peaceful transfer of power is what this is all about. I'm going to work to make sure we do that. I'm not sure that I agree with those polls. I also am concerned that we've got a lot of talk about this right now, but I really believe at the end of the day, Republicans are going to support the outcome of this race. Quite frankly, I don't think this race is done yet.
If, in fact, Hillary Clinton were to win and we have a divided government, do you think there's any chance that things can actually get done?
Well, in the United States Senate, the Democrats have a new leader starting in January. You know, Chuck Schumer is known to be able to make a deal. And quite frankly, we've got to find a way to break through the gridlock there. So I'm hopeful that whoever's in the White House, that we'll find a way to start attacking some of these major crises problems that we've got.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.